I couldn't let it go. I want to apologize real quick. I had been feeling very burnt out ever since I uploaded the Echo video, so I took a little bit of time away from doing video editing and just playing games in general, and I'm feeling good now to go back to it. So I figured I'd do a short video like this to get me back into the swing of things. I'm doing the Echo short stories because I never got around to doing those. Honestly, I don't know if there's a preferred way to play these. I mean, I guess I'll start with Party because that sounds fun. Carl, do you know where the keys are? Weed. You got weed this morning, Carl. I could smell it from here. I hear an awkward chuckle. Healthy greens. Oh, this fucking guy. How I've missed Carl and his stupid stoner ass. I'm heading to Vincent's place, remember? I thought I told you. I roll my eyes. It's just a party. Jeez, nothing's gonna happen.
Are you sure about that?
I look at Carl's pleading grin, then at my watch. Indeed, I still have another hour until I really need to leave, and I've already freshened up and everything. I'm better at side-scrollers, you know? I get stabbed 10 times in the chest by a guy whose nickname leaves a lot to be desired. And fighting games. I grin at him. I do not suck at fighting games. I beat your ass last time, remember? It stings just a little, but he isn't lying, now that I think about it. I remember reading somewhere that the character I use isn't allowed in tournaments because of how broken he is. Naturally, he ended up being my favorite. Didn't help that he was cute, too. Way to have your priorities straight, Chase. Or, you know, not straight, I guess. After grabbing a granola bar from the kitchen cabinet, I'm finally on my way to the party. My parents' old car doesn't have air conditioning. It'll make visiting them back in Echo torture if I ever do decide to go back there. Perhaps one day. For now, I'm pretty content where I am. Brother, you should have friggin' stayed away. It takes me a couple of rings to realize the doorbell's busted. Even longer to notice the tiny slip of paper stuck to the door telling me to go around the back. A girl from my class I've been working together on a project with, Lana, sits in a corner, playing with her phone. When I catch her eye, she immediately puts it away and steps over to me. I had trouble finding a good parking spot. How's the party? Anything crazy going on? Part of me already knows what it's going to be. Probably booze or something. Something special, huh? What is it? This good thing sounds pretty questionable. Even more so once Lana disappears into the kitchen before returning with a big silver tray. She passes it from person to person, everyone taking something from it. I try not to think about it too much. Finally, Lana thrusts the tray in front of my face with the widest of smiles. Her enthusiasm only leaves me disappointed when I find nothing but blueberry muffins. I scratch the back of my head. They're just muffins. What's the big deal? A large line with a long braided mane pipes up behind her. I narrow my eyes. You better not be pulling a prank on me. She grins at me. She seems honest enough. Not that I think she's trying to poison me. Everyone's eyes are on me when I stick it in my mouth. This peer pressure makes the fur on the back of my neck stand on end. It's not as gross as I expected it to be, at least. Thank God. I could still taste a bit of the blueberry in there. The weed part, though. Well, I've never used weed, so I don't know what it tastes like. If this is it, it's nothing special. I don't really feel anything. Her lips stretch into a thin line. She looks down at the tray again with a frown. I shake my head. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Maybe it just hasn't kicked in yet. Vince gives my back a smack. It's a compliment I don't quite know how to take or even comprehend. In fact, even standing feels difficult to grasp at the moment. I find myself wobbling on my feet once he pulls back his hand. 20 minutes into the party and I'm already completely out of it. This is probably setting all sorts of party records. Someone's tugging at my arm, but gravity's currently working against me in every possible way. The despair in her voice is almost palpable. She takes a hold of my wrist. My hand just flops around once she moves it. I hope I'm not being filmed right now. I just lay there. With my brain and body in complete disarray like this, there's no way I'm getting up anytime soon. And despite the screams, despite the loud music, despite everything, I feel my eyelids grow heavier and heavier. The world goes dark before my very eyes, and the last thing I think about before I'm out like a light is how comfortable the cold floor is. I return to the land of the living with a long gasp for air. The scent of very strong coffee fills my nostrils. When I try to think about what happened last night, my head just starts hurting more. There's a piece of toast in his mouth and 2 mugs of coffee in his paws. I can see that. Thanks, though. I might not be invited to future parties, but I'd rather have that than end up dead because I couldn't handle a muffin. Maybe I'll tell him later. Preferably when we're done with college, so it'll just be one of many escapades. I do hope future escapades won't leave me feeling this much like I got hit by a train, though. Oh, no, dude. That's fucked. That is so unbelievably fucked. He stacked the 2 cups and stands up. Minor spelling mistakes. Hey, Carl. He turns around, nearly dropping one of his coffee cups. I shoot him a smile. Thank you. Want to play some more Claws of Destruction when I get back? Oh, that one's nice and sweet. And nothing bad happened. I could get used to this.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
Alright, let's do Trip next, I guess. Whose perspective is this from? I'll just go with the narration anyway. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be quiet, and that's not fun. Oh, it's Carl's. Okay. Are you sure there's anything in this? I don't taste it. I let the cube clack against my teeth a few times before it breaks up and starts dissolving a lot faster. He watches me for a while, then nods to his shitty TV. That does sound like a good idea, but I'm still not so sure. I try to relax because that's what Jeremy said I should do, but now the ceiling is starting to move. The pattern's starting to swirl around that hole, like it's a whirlpool. No, like it's a black hole. I don't know what to think. I look over at him and glare. What the fuck is this? He doesn't even look up from his paw. What else is he planning? If he was willing to be this cruel to me, what else is he gonna do? Suddenly, I'm really scared and breathing hard. I stand up quick, and that's when he finally looks up at me. Dude, just leave me alone. I turn away and stumble to the door. He sounds distracted, like he doesn't care. He doesn't even get up off the bed to follow me, which is just fine. I stumble out and gasp as the cool air hits my lungs. I stand there for a second, looking around, and that's when I realize I don't even know where I am. It's dark, and there aren't any lights on the streets. I shut my eyes and then push where I know the phone app is supposed to be. I open them again and see the keypad, and I blow out a sigh of relief. But then as soon as I push the first number, all of the numbers change. I frown and push the next number, but the numbers change right before I hit it, and I spend the next 10 minutes... 20... 80... 2 hours? Trying to figure it out, but it's no use. This is a bad fucking trip. I finally give up and stumble to my car, trying to keep my breathing under control. Because I'm on the verge of a panic attack, and I have a feeling that it's going to be way worse than the one I had at school. It's the drug. It's the LSD. I'm having a bad trip. I know this, but just knowing that still scares me. At that moment, I hear and feel something run past the window, then bounce over the hood of my car. I whip my head up and stare into the blackness and feel my throat close up. I pause because I know it's not supposed to do that. Or is it? I try to remember what I was going to say. The tone is different, taunting, like it knows that it's fucking with me. It doesn't wait for me to say anything. Oh, shit. I start to give in, start to give up. Slowly, I bring my paws down from my face. The clock says 2:23. If that's right, it's been 2 hours since I ate that sugar cube, but I'm calm now, because I know why the GPS was freaking out earlier. It was stupid of me to lose my shit like that, especially now that I know that Chase is in the car, home from spring break. Oh, fuck no. You know, I just got over that paranoia with the tulpa, and now it's just surging right fucking back. I love and hate this stupid fucking furry Silent Hill game. I look around and can't see him, but that's okay. It's just nice that he's here. I'm chill now, but I still feel like something's following me. It makes me feel better that Chase is telling me about school, how much he misses me. Again, time stretches and distorts, but it's okay because Chase is talking to me. But then his tone gets more urgent. He's trying to warn me about something. I frown, dread starting to roil in my gut again. What now? Think about looking into my rearview mirror. I don't want to, but I do, and as soon as I do, I'm screaming. Red, bony, with black holes for eyes, then something grabs my neck. I let out a long, strangled moan of horror, and my hoof slams the gas. That moment stretches, distorts, alters and changes just like the VHS Jeremy had shown me that lifetime ago. I go back and forth. I repeat and loop, the thing killing me forever. I'm lifted out of my seat and my head slams into something, sending white light flashing through my eyes. I crashed the car, I realized. And I also realized that I've killed Chase. I start sobbing. Liquids run down my face, tears, maybe snot, but it's dark and I realize it's blood. It's probably all three of those things. Playing that background track is illegal. I fucking hate it. Time stretches. I totally fucking caught that. Oh my god, that was fucking creepy. Somehow I get home. The entire way I try to dial 911 on my phone to get Chase some help, but the buttons won't hold still. I couldn't look at the time, but I know he's lying in a bloody heap in the passenger side footwell. Again, I almost give in, but then I see the treehouse. I beg Chase to forgive me because now I can't get him help, because now I'm stuck on this sinking ship with a monster. I curl up tighter and tighter, so tight that I become my own source of gravity, my own black hole, sucking up everything around me, stretching it thin, then tearing it apart. It's only then that everything settles. My parents found me 3 hours later after someone had reported the accident to the cops a few hours after I'd left. I realized what happened was just a bad trip, but I don't have any plans to try it again. I guess it helped me discover things about myself. Things I'd rather not have found out. Even now, irrational fear gets the better of me, and I'm still paranoid as fuck, like everyone's keeping a big secret from me. Sometimes I'm positive they're hiding the fact that they found a dead otter in the car. Well, that didn't make me feel good. Oh boy. Nice and eerie. I just had to say something after party, didn't I? So trip was indeed a trip. Where do I go from here, then? I guess I'll go for metaphor next? One look at this background and I'm already getting a bunch of bad memories from when I used to do work in warehouses. God, I can feel the fucking heat in this place. He drags the stacked up pallet of 15 packs of 24-count spring water bottles across the stockroom to the truck's trailer. I absolutely hated stocking water bottles. If that shit wasn't stacked or wrapped right, it would tip over, and you would have to clean that shit up, and I hated it. He perks up at some distant revving. Leo nods his head towards the Gia's snout. Flynn takes the cigarette out of his mouth. Flynn clears his throat. He lets out a breath. What does that even mean, Flynn? Leo rolls his eyes, letting out a sighing laugh. He puts his paws behind his head and leans back against the building next to Flynn, looking up at the full moon. He reaches over, running his paw softly over the Gia's head spines. The reptile closes his eyes for a moment, humming at the touch. Leo pulls his paw back. Every time Leo makes this face, it's always great to me. I don't know why. It's just my favorite expression of his because he looks so genuinely taken aback. Oh, right. This was back when they were temporarily fucking. Leo talked about this if you talked to him during Flynn's route. I remember now. I love the little nods that these side stories give to the rest of the game. It makes me feel very smart. They fall into a comfortable silence, listening to the sounds, looking at the sky. Leo leans back against the building. Flynn takes the cigarette back out and rolls it around in his fingers for a bit before returning it to his mouth. Flynn keeps it in his mouth as he speaks. He inhales. The Red Wolf's shoulders ease down as he lets out a ragged sigh. Flynn studies the determined look on Leo's face. He puts the cigarette back into his mouth. When he speaks again, it's level, almost monotone. Flynn shrugs. That's it? Oh, fuck. If nothing else, it really just makes me feel bad for Flynn all over again. Now, to keep up with the lightheartedness, I'm going to hope that date keeps this mood going. What makes a good date? Chase told me dinner and a movie. Personally, I felt like having the dinner half of the date of my house would have been really nice. Still, I can tell by the way Heather has her head down that she's really unhappy. Oh no, TJ. Finally, we park and I hop out and hold the door open for Heather. Her voice is a whisper. I reach out to shut the door, but she does it herself, a little harder than she needed to. Well, it's really hot out. Staying in the car would be too... Heather stalks ahead of me, and I feel that sinking feeling again. Chase gave me a bunch of tips on how to make the date go well, but he never said anything about parents. Maybe it was so obvious that he didn't think he had to tell me. That thought just makes me shrink into myself even more, and I can feel my face get hot. I push my paws into my pockets and follow after her, trying to keep my ears upright. Mom's really nice and sits about 5 rows behind us, but Heather still seems pretty angry about it. The drive back home is pretty awkward. Mom goes on and on about the movie and what she thought of it, which is fine, because I can tell Heather is in the mood to talk, and I have no idea what to say. Heather's already sitting on my bed when I walk through the doorway. Do you want to listen to some music? I turn to my dresser, grabbing my small stack of CDs and shuffling through them. I skip over the Christian rock albums, feeling my ears burn a little at the thought of her seeing those. TJ continues to be a precious bean. Finally, I turn around and see that Heather hasn't moved from her spot on the bed. She's just been watching me the whole time. What's up? She gestures with her hand towards the doorway. Okay. That's when I hear the bed squeak behind me. I turn around and Heather is right in front of me. I jump back and bump against the door. Heather giggles and moves closer, and I can feel her breath on my face. Oh, wow. Okay, I have no idea what to say or what to do. I open my mouth, and I think I'm about to ask her to hold on, but that's when she kisses me. My voice is quiet as she pushes me all the way down, so I'm flat against the bed, my legs dangling off the side. She's really excited, and it kind of scares me, her eyes wide and her breathing coming in loud huffs. I grab at her wrist as she pushes my shirt up again, but this time she does it all the way to my neck. She's so confident about what she's doing. Has she done this before? I quickly push my shirt back down. Heather stares at me, then awkwardly stands back up, folding her arms. I keep pretending to adjust myself, having no clue about what I should say. No, it was okay. I'm just not ready, is all. I know that sounds really cliché, but it's the truth. Do you need a ride home? That's the best I can manage. She sighs again before turning to the door. Okay. I watch the doorway for another minute, then sigh and lay back again. I cover my face with both paws, rubbing my forehead. I'm so bad at this stuff. Why did I even try? That's when my phone buzzes and I take it out to see a text. Fucking Chase. I stare at it for a second, then, on a whim, press the call button with my thumb. He picks up after the second ring. Hey, biatch, your date over already? Hey, Chase. What's up? Yeah, the date's over. It was okay, I guess? Are you asking me? How was it? Chase, how did you know you're gay? There's some silence on the other end before I hear a burst of laughter. Sorry. I just didn't expect that. Are you on your computer? Yeah. I get off my bed and walk over to my desk, waking my computer up. Okay, go to the website Thickfur. Chase, do not taint the precious bean. And listen, TJ, Heather is... well, she's not that... it's just not a big deal, alright? Okay, I'm gonna go. Talk to you later. See ya. I drop my Fed on the bone next to me and close my eyes, tempted to just fall asleep right then and there. I feel better, though. Chase always had a way of making things seem alright. I start to wonder what Chase and Leo might have been doing. He was probably nibbling Chase's ear. Leo does that a lot. In front of us, too, sometimes. I actually think it's kind of cute. My paw drifts down... Holy fucking shit. That was nice and sweet as well. Well, maybe not entirely sweet, given the context of the scene. If nothing else, that scene does a really decent job at making it even more complicated as to what TJ's sexuality is. Like, there's not a doubt in my mind that the dude's probably asexual. But then that part at the end happened, and now I'm questioning shit all over again. Alright, next up I'm gonna do phone. I think it would be safe to guess that this one is going to focus on the phone prank that Jenna and Chase pull on Leo. Maybe I'll finally get to see how petty it was. Pull up to the old fast food joint in my shitty old truck, the fan blasting hot desert air. I look around the sun-baked parking lot, but I don't see Chase's car yet. I'm starting to doze off when I hear a knock on my window. Looking to my left, Chase's adorable otter face greets me through the window, grinning. Look at this default-looking ass motherfucker. This dumb, possessed, traumatized, silly little guy. I'm actually really proud of him right now. He used to be so worried about people seeing us like this, but now he's hugging me like no one's around. That reminds me, I still have to play Route 65. Like, between that, Adastra, and Arches, this whole project's got a lot of content for me to go through. After we put in our orders and get our drinks, we both stare down at a greasy table, Chase swiping an old fry off his booth. He rolls his eyes before pulling out his phone. Hey, no texting. Let's talk. What do you want to talk about? He doesn't put it away. Well, have you decided on what you're going to do after school? Chase finally puts his phone down on the table and closes his eyes, sighing, and that makes me nervous. Don't worry about it right now, Leo. I've still got a few months to decide. Going to the bathroom. I'll be right back. I grunt and he heads off towards the back of the restaurant while I slump in my seat. The idea of Chase leaving is fucking terrifying. We've been this way for the past 2.5 years, and the way he's treating this decision like it's just a fucking annoyance makes me all the more frustrated. His phone buzzes a few times, and I look at it out of habit. Then it really starts buzzing, and I realize someone's calling him. Oh, fuck, here we go. I furrow my brows, then look back behind me at the bathroom, but Chase isn't there. Fuck it. I could just say I was picking it up for him anyway. Who's this? I curse silently as I realize that if I wanted the guy to talk, that probably wasn't the best way to do it. And sure enough, I hear a click as he hangs up. I feel my heart beating fast as I pull the phone down from my ear. I stare at the screen for a while and barely realize it goes black. There's no way he'd do this. Would he? Sure enough, there's a thread under the name Jared with over 1,000 texts. My throat's dry as I tap on it and look at the most recent messages. Oh no. Hey! I whip my head up and see Chase staring down at me, an exasperated grin on his muzzle. I almost lower my ears in shame at being caught, but I catch myself before I do. He's the one who has some explaining to do. Who the fuck is this? I shove the phone in his face, realizing that I've lost my chance at approaching this delicately. So you are leaving? Running off to fuck some other wolf? Now people are really staring and Chase winces and he ducks his head lower to the table. It's a joke, Leo. Calm down. Jenna, we were just trying to have some fun. I was starting to realize this probably wasn't the best time, but... Jenna. That explains it, but the anger and betrayal I'm feeling doesn't go away like it should. Now I'm livid. So you're playing this stupid game of keeping me guessing whether or not you're gonna ditch me next year, and then you pull this shit? I raise my voice for the last part, and there's a noticeable lull in the conversations all around us. The hell is wrong with you? He whirls on me. I'm shocked he looks almost as angry as I am. Me? You know, I told Jenna that there was no way in hell you'd fall for this since you already knew how I felt about you. I'm the one that should be fucking offended that you'd think that. That's not fair. You wanted a reaction from me and you got one. Happy? Then Jenna shows up, her light blonde fur almost making her hard to look at as she lights up under the sun. She comes running over from the parking lot to hop up onto the sidewalk, standing next to Chase. I should have known how strange it was that Chase would park so far away from me. The glee in her voice brings it all back, and I realize who I'm really mad at. I reach out and grab the phone from Chase's paw and hold it out to her. Making me think I just lost my otter is a prank? If this is a fucking joke, then you need to learn how to make one first. How was I supposed to take that? Just laugh and shrug and say, well, fuck, so much for that. Is that what you expected? I throw my arms out in a big, exaggerated shrug. Jenna frowns and lowers her ears. I hear her give a heavy sigh, and I open my eyes to see her rubbing her head, like I'm just the biggest disappointment. I grip my teeth again, and I have to work not to snarl. Telling me to calm down is the worst thing you can do right now. I'm tired, I'm hot, and I just wanted to have lunch with Chase. I glance at the phone and see it's already 20 past the hour, which means Chase has to leave now. I squeeze the phone hard in my paw. It's the part where he breaks it, isn't it? But Jenna doesn't seem to notice. Did it get dimmer, or am I just... Oh, fuck me sideways! Well, thanks. I hate it. I feel something snap inside, and rather than chuck the phone in Jenna's direction, I spin and start to throw it down on the sidewalk. I realize at the last second that it's Chase's phone that I'm throwing, and I try to grab it back up at the same time I throw it. I only succeed in clipping a corner, which sends it into a flip before it hits the concrete. The crunch sound, along with the sparkling spray of glass, tells us all that I just smashed the phone to hell. Que muerde fue eso? I hope I got that right. Otter, I'm sorry. I'll buy you... I'm going to Pueblo, Leo. Jenna's silent, looking away, but my gut tells me she already knows this, and that starts to bring back some of the anger. What the hell are you talking about? I said I'm going to Pueblo. In August. I got accepted in January. I don't know what to say. Chase. He turns away from me. Jenna looks over at me, and I finally see some remorse in her face before she jogs to catch up with Chase. I hear her start to apologize. I watch him go, desperately wanting to run up and pull him into my arms and tell him I'm sorry, but I know that'll probably make things worse. I sit there for a second, not sure what to do. I feel sick and angry, and tired all at the same time. A lot of this is my fault. Is this why Chase is leaving me? Because I can't control my fucking temper sometimes? No, not leaving me. Just working things out. I grip the steering wheel with both paws, blinking furiously as the road starts to blur. No, I'm not gonna cry. This'll work out fine. We just need to talk like we always do, and even if he does leave, we'll work something out. I'm not gonna fuck this up. I'm not gonna lose my temper ever again. I'm not gonna lose him. Jesus fucking Christ. That went exactly like I thought it was going to go, and yet somehow was much worse than I anticipated. You know what's the worst part? I genuinely don't know whose fault that was. I feel like Leo definitely overreacted, but they were all equally at fault for that whole thing going down. Getting the full context for that scene was absolutely heartbreaking. Also having the tulpa in the background, like, as an homage to Jenna's route when that whole scene goes down, it's fucking evil, guys. Thanks a lot. Fuck. 2 more to go! I feel like I'm about to flip a coin, and it'll either be something nice and wholesome, or make me lose my frickin' mind. I look down at the cup in my hand again, trying not to make eye contact with anyone around me. Part of me wish I had stayed home tonight, but Sarah asked me to come, and I'd feel bad turning her down. She looked so excited when she mentioned how much effort she and the rest of her Bible group put into this party. I focus on slowing my breathing to stave off a panic attack I feel coming on. Takes a few minutes, but finally I can feel my heart rate slow and my body relax. Only to be startled by a hand touching my shoulder. Hey. My voice is squeaky. She smiles a little at that. Her eyes dart around and she blushes. I can't help the shocked expression that I'm sure is on my face. My eyes dart to the ground. I start mumbling out an excuse before Sarah reaches for my hand and pulls me to the dance floor. Sarah's smile snaps me out of my reminiscing as she waits for me to take the lead. I force myself out of my trance and take a tentative step, right onto Sarah's foot. She squeaks and pulls her foot away. Sorry. We dance together, laughing and occasionally singing lyrics to songs we both know. Every now and then we bump into each other, which forces a few laughs out of us, although I'm suspicious that she's doing it on purpose. My body tenses and I can feel her breath warm against me. I can feel her body press into me as she hugs me tighter. It feels nice. My entire body is tense and I can feel myself starting to panic before the song fades out for another with a faster tempo. She starts to bounce and hop to the beat, and I follow her lead, but she turns around and pushes her back into me. She gives me a wink over the shoulder, and as she dances, her body grinds against mine. Holy shit, TJ's getting it! Aww. Even in the dim lighting, I can see her blushing face. Oh, okay. I try looking for Leo and Chase, but it's hard to see much in here. I stand on my tiptoes, hoping to see Leo's ears since he's so tall. Nothing. I circle the room twice before I give up. Maybe they went outside? I look at Chase. So, are you going to go to the party? Leo looks at Chase, who sighs heavily, like he's just put down a giant weight. I don't know about that, TJ. It's kinda awkward. Not really into the whole Kool-Aid thing. Quit acting like this is some cult, Chase! My eyes go wide when I realize I said that out loud. Listen, I'm going to go for a quick walk. To get some fresh air. I notice my lungs fill with cold air and a pressure seems to lift off of my body. I stop and snap back to reality. It's completely dark, and I look up. It seems I've walked past the streetlights on this road. How long have I been walking? Fur on the back of my neck stands up again. I thought I heard footsteps. After I stopped walking, there were echoes, but something about a few of them sounded different. But it had to be the echo, right? Oh, no. I listen for anything and I think I can hear breathing, but when I try to focus on it, a steady, high-pitched ringing starts to build. I feel my lungs start to burn, and I release the breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding. I was so focused on hearing something, anything, other than that ringing, that I had ignored everything else. I inhale, the night air pierced by the sound of my breath being released. Just keep walking. I can't see anyone, so it might be all in my head. Even if it is someone following me, who's to say it isn't someone from the church? That would make them a good person, right? Just then I hear ragged breathing coming from behind me, and I spin around with a yelp. But there's no one there. A whine escapes my throat as I look into the darkness. Shouldn't I be relieved that no one's there? But I can still hear that ragged breathing. It sounds like it's coming from everywhere. I can hear it to my left, but I can't see anything. I look to my right, but I don't see anything. I spin around, looking in all directions, but I can't see anything. I think I can see him moving around in the darkness, a tall, lanky figure. He bends down and starts to walk on all fours, but what I can make out disappears into the darkness again. I don't know where it is anymore. Whatever it is. I try to listen again, but that terrible ringing pierces my ears. I look back towards Echo, and I see a car driving towards me. I feel a sense of hope wash over me. I stumble backwards away from the car. Carl? Carl nods in a manner that says, the one and only. He pulls a cigarette out of his mouth. I fiddle with the handle, and Carl tells me to stop so we can open the door. I force myself to let go and look around, afraid that something is going to jump out at me right before I can reach safety. Yanking on the door, I step back to make room for it to swing outward. In that moment, I feel a presence and my hair raises on my neck. I rush to get into the back seat, and as I look down for the step, I swear I can see a shadowy hand reaching from under the car. I quickly jump into the back seat and slam the door shut. Carl looks back at me with a smile. Without looking at him, I mumble something about needing a walk. I'm still too busy checking to make sure nothing is waiting outside the car watching us, or trying to get in. I feel a shifting in my seat, and the car starts to move. I turn and look back over my shoulder at where I was trapped a few moments ago. I I blink a few times to clear my eyes, and I can blurrily see the silhouette of a lanky, misshaped person standing just outside of the light. Carl keeps asking me questions all the while, and I tell him about my evening. The party, Sarah, Chase, and Leo. He asks if he should drop me off back at the church, and I tell him no, almost too quickly. I don't want to go back there, but I don't want to be alone. He mentions that he was going into Peyton to buy a new game that's just come out. He laughs, saying he hopes I don't mind if we have to wait a bit for it. I mumble that that's fine, as long as the place we're going is well lit. Well, that was fucking tense. Oh, shit. Fuck you, Power Socket! Didn't even show up on screen, but I was sweating the entire time! That one was very good, though, from a simple story standpoint. Too bad TJ couldn't fucking score, though. Dude was so close. I wish he went back. Last one. Runaway. I hope I saved the best for last. Because if this is the worst, I'm gonna lose my shit. Okay, this one is definitely from Jenna's perspective. Alright. I put my ear to the door and listen for any signs of my family before even thinking of opening it. Usually I can tell when they're home by the shouting and screaming of Dad and Jeremy's daily arguments, but I want to be sure. I lock the door and put the key under the doormat, looking over my shoulder at the house where I've spent the past 17 years of my life. I'm going to college, on the other side of the state, far away from this dusty, dried-up shithole, and so I head towards the diner, struggling to keep myself upright, duffel bag in one paw, my purse in the other. Chase is leaning against his car, his face illuminated by the light of his phone. Shit, Jess, did you fill this thing with bricks? I giggle at the sight of him, folding my arms. Just the necessities, really. Clothes, a toothbrush, something to read. He grins. All your manga, too? Most of it. Just the issues I haven't gotten around to reading yet. Maybe I should have filled it with bricks. Would have made for a nice prank. I lean forward to turn on the radio. One of Chase's and Leo's songs, or as Flynn likes to call them, emo garbage with shitty lyrics, starts playing. Chase wraps his fingers on the steering wheel in time with the beat. When he notices I'm looking, he quickly averts his gaze, messing with the rearview mirror instead. I chuckle. Aww. This is definitely when she starts having feelings for him. Oh, that's cute! We're on the road now, moving further and further away from the diner and the motel until they're just plots in the distance. If there's one good thing about Echo, I suppose it's the spectacular sunsets. That is still incredibly pretty. Chase looks at me from the corner of his eye. We can stop if you'd like. If you want to say goodbye, I'm fine. You can keep driving, Chase. Alright. I'll have to stop for gas when we get to Peyton, though. I promised my mom I'd fill up the tank. The gas station between Echo and Peyton is a perfect representation of the miserable state Echo is in. It's old and decrepit, to say the least, and what little staff it has consists mostly of junkies saving up for their next fix. I look up for my manga when he comes back, carrying a small plastic bag with the gas station's logo on it. One for you. He says it in a sing-song voice, dangling a strawberry-flavored popsicle in front of me, which I greedily snatch from his paw. And one for me. Eating popsicles and drinking soda in the parking lot of a run-down gas station. Sounds rather silly in my mind, but this is really happening. I take another bite. So, have you figured out what you're going to do once you're done with high school? He fiddles with his bracelet again. I don't know. Leo's dad said he might have a job for me, but I don't think I'd make a good mechanic. I've got 2 left paws. I think I'd just destroy any car that came into the shop. Why don't you apply for college? You mean the one in Pueblo? He gives me a quick sidelong glance. That's really far away, isn't it? I don't know, Jazz. I can't just leave Leo behind. You know, I think you'd be a good fit for college, actually. Smart, motivated. Really? I mean, I'm not all that good at anything, really. I don't know what I'd go for. Maybe journalism or something? I mean, you were in charge of the school paper last year. You like filming and taking pictures, right? What are you going to major in? I'm going for psychology. Oh, like the inner workings of the mind and stuff? I want to find out what makes people do the things the way they do. So what made you do the thing you're doing right now? His expression takes a turn for the serious. Why'd you decide to run away? For a moment, I'm speechless. All the heat drawing from my body as we look right at each other. I'm the one driving you to your new place. I think I deserve to know what's going on. He frowns. What do they do to you? Do they hurt you or something? None of your business. I grit my teeth. Jasmine. He puts a paw on my shoulder. I know how you feel, but running away isn't... You don't know how I feel. I smack his paw away. You don't know the slightest thing about my situation, Chase. You don't know what it's like to live in poverty, what it can do to people. And you don't know how it feels when no matter how hard you try to crawl out of that hole, your family will keep piling on even more dirt. I want to live for myself, Chase. I want to go to college. I want to have a future. I can't do that in Echo. It's not the place for me. It never was. It's not the place for any of us. But it's home, you know? It's home for you. It's hell for me. My parents just keep blaming other people for their own ineptitude. Carl, his great-great-grand whatever, you, Leo, everyone's fair game. I'm sick of it. Finally, Chase smiles at me. Sorry about all that. I just wanted to look out for you, you know? Everyone's been really worried. I know. And I'm sorry, too. I shouldn't have lashed out like that. Hey, not to change the subject, but, like, won't your family be able to find you over there? They won't. I've thought of something. What is it? I'm going to get my name changed when I can, once I'm 18. It won't make it impossible to find me, but hopefully it'll keep them off my tail until I can move to Pueblo. Really? Huh. Yeah. I want something a little more me, I guess. What kind of name are you thinking of? In the past, I've considered the names of actresses and singers, from CEOs to scientists. Now, though, I just blurt out the first thing that comes to mind. How about Jenna? It seems like a good enough name. Jenna? He chuckles. Thought you'd go for something more ostentatious. Well, I don't want to draw too much attention to myself. And to be fair, anything's better than Jasmine. Definitely. It's just... well, it's gonna take some getting used to. Jenna. Doesn't sound half bad, right? Hey, it's your name. What's that supposed to mean? Shoot me a message once you've unpacked, okay? Drive safe. Really? He chuckles, pulling back. Seriously? Do you see a dent in this car? Sure, that's what you said about your bike, too. Right before you fell flat on your... That was 5 years ago. 5 years! We laughed together. It's gonna be different without you around. Maybe we can go do something together sometime. We could go bowling. Sounds like fun. I'd like that. But only if you promise not to cheat again. Hey, I beat you fair and square last time. Of course you did, Jen. He steps back towards the car. After a short pause, he turns around to wave. I walk up to him once again. Wait. Oh my god, they're playing her fucking theme! Let's go! When this shit played in her route, I was stoked, dude. It's so good. I take Pueblo University's brochure out of my purse. For you. He looks at it for a second, dumbfounded. Summoning some of my courage and a little stupidity, I lean in and give him a peck on the cheek for good measure.
Hell yeah!
If Leo were here, he'd toss me through a wall. He just stands there, jaw agape, glancing down at the brochure before looking up at me again. I guess I'll see you around? Bye, Otter Boy. I grab the bags again, unable to keep myself from giggling softly as he stumbles to the car door, a confused look of bewilderment still etched on his face. Chase might be the only game Leo ever beat me at, but the odds can still change. Holy fucking shit, dude! I am giddy again! With the bags in my paws, I waddle to the old beat-up door and wait for the door to my future to open. Oh, it's so fucking nice, man. Jenna has a lot of problems and trauma, right? But, god damn it, if she's not one of the best written characters in this entire fucking game. In all honesty, though, when she pecks him on the cheek, Chase is 100% standing there going, oh god, I think I might actually be bisexual. Dude just kind of stood there and went, girl best friend, nice to me. Oh, it's so cute. That was ultimately really nice. It was cool to get back to Echo for a bit just to wrap things up like that. It's so good, you'd be remiss to think, oh, these are bonus scenes for, you know, the furry Silent Hill game, where everything is going to be going to shit. I just think that was really cool, and it was nice to, you know, wrap up Echo like that. Because as it stands, I do have another visual novel video that I'm currently working on. Let's just say that, well, it's July. It's the middle of summer. So I figured, let's play something in regards to that, you know? Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video, and don't forget to drink plenty of water. Take care.
All of this going on up here is what's causing me the most physical discomfort. It's like a visceral reaction of discontent coming from this area. This area is not good either. I hate this, but I'm mainly worried about this.